Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As uni application season arrives, I want to share some tips on both personal statements as well as interviews. So let's start with personal statements. So for background, I studied economics at the London School of Economics, and for all of my 5 unis I applied, they were all for econ. But before that, I was planning to apply. In my first year, I was actually planning to apply for maths, and then I was thinking about more on the politics route. So there was a bit of quantitative and qualitative sides. So yeah, so this video is really suitable for any degrees. Maybe apart from like really artistic routes. Anyways, I think for generally speaking, you want to show both your interest and your ability. To show your interest in this subject, you want to, in your interview or in your application, your personal statement, you want to talk about the extra stuff you've done in order to learn more about the subject. So instead of going for like a really broad things you've read, do not give a reading list. You want to just focus on like one key aspect and then dig in deep. Yeah, so for instance, maybe some lectures you went to, or some books you read, or some essays you read, or etc. Yeah, things like that. Especially for quantitative degrees like math and actually economics, physics, engineering, I think it's really important to show this ability of quantitative analysis and understanding. So for instance, if you do show off your coding skills or your math skills, it's definitely a really big plus, especially for instance, economics at LSE is quite a quantitative degree. Before going to LSE, I did not know that, economics in different universities is very different. So for instance, in Durham, it's quite essay writing, but LSE is like mostly math exams. So you want to tailor your application according to the university you're applying, but also you want to think about, is there something I want to do? Am I more of a quantitative person or a qualitative person? Either is good. It's not like one is superior than the other, but definitely do something that you think you're both interested and have a talent for, because if you do something that you don't really actually enjoy, it's going to be you doing this for the next 3 or more years. And I think that's also a part of just being responsible towards yourself. Yep, that's that. I think another general advice is that when doing the interviews, definitely think about it before you answer a question. Instead of someone asks you a question, you just reply straight away. Think about it, like pause for a second or two, think about how am I going to answer this question, what kind of structure should I use, and then answer the question. Is going to give a more positive impression because you seem more concise, you seem more precise, you just seem really structured and organized and have an organized train of thoughts. That's something I think that's pretty useful as well. Also, as I've got LinkedIn, there are people who contact me via LinkedIn or Instagram asking me to just like have a read of their personal statements. I think that's a very smart idea because, like for the people who have gone through those universities or those degrees, they kind of know what kind of like what the school is looking for. So I would definitely suggest this. I think it's a very smart networking approach, and I think people generally are just very nice about it. Like I read all of the application whoever like application personal statement, reading requests, etc. I think apart from that, don't worry too much during the interviews. When I did my interview, I was pretty scared because, like for the past how many years you're just studying. but you did not study just for this particular university, you're studying for yourself. And there are people who came from amazing universities that are doing less well than those people who came from perhaps less amazing universities. And that's just because everyone are fundamentally different. And like two people may end up at the same place, but they may differ in a lot of ways. So don't be too scared about it. And even if you didn't end up in the place you wanted to, that's not necessarily a bad thing. And as long as you just, appreciate the time, those 3 years, and learn as much as possible. I mean, they're still masters, right? You could still arrive at a place that perhaps those people at other universities that you thought you really want to get into and didn't get into couldn't get. And everyone's very different. It's impossible to just group or classify a person, or it's impossible to assess a person just based on their university. So definitely stay calm and try to enjoy the interview as much as possible.